Yes. Mine calendar.
Yeah, their calendar's always wrong. They screwed us up.
Are they muted? Are we muted?
I went ahead and muted myself. Right?
I can mute.
You guys muted, right? Nope. Unmute. Right?
I can mute.
You guys muted, right? Nope. Unmute. Right?
I can mute.
You guys muted, right? Nope. Unmute.
All right.
You start. I'll keep quiet.
Oh, they can hear us.
Yes, I can. We're live.
Okay, we're live. Hello. So this is Kid and I'm Candy, and welcome to High Vibes Up. We've got Jason Q for our Wednesday, Wacky Wednesday, and Miki Klann. I keep wanting to call you Nikki and Mickey. Anyways, we're thrilled to have both of them here. But before we get started with our guests, Kid and I wanted to share something with you guys. Because we're family, and I'm going to become really raw and very transparent. We are struggling. And not just relationally, we're struggling spiritually, physically, and it's all related to each other. When one, as Kid teaches, when one part of us struggles, so does the rest of us. And so what's happening? We're detoxing a lot. And when I was talking to Paula this morning, she helped me to understand. She goes, well, Asaya, detox is on a cellular level, right? And I said, yeah, where are you going with that? And she said, well, think about it. All of the poisons that you have had throughout your whole life has gone into those cells. It needs to go layer by layer by layer. And so it's hit another layer that is bringing out all that stuff to be released. And that affects the emotions. And Kid is in quite a bit of pain. You remember he had a migraine the other day. He never gets those. He has been struggling. You remember he had the rectal abscess? Is that healed yet?
That's still
working its way?
It's leaking, so it's going to take about maybe a year or two for it to completely close out.
And then on top of that, Candida has come out for both of us. And this is what I was talking to Paula about. And I said, I don't understand where it's come from. And she said, that's the next layer of release that is coming out. But for Kid, it's right around that whole wound area between his cheeks. And it is extremely painful. And so...
That's gotten me in a bad mood.
Really bad mood. And he's yelled at me more than once. A couple of times, you know, it's easy to handle. But then... I've got my own struggles, and now, you know, that's pulling me down. And so if you guys, you know, want to support us by sending us some healing energy, having the understanding and the compassion, for what we're going through. It's just a big bump in the road. But, you know, we love you. We love ourselves. And we know you guys are here for us, so we just wanted to let you know what was going on and what was happening, so that if you continue to see some mishaps between us, you have a full understanding of why. On top of all of that, it feels like food just hurts my body. It doesn't matter what I eat. So that's uncomfortable too. All right.
And we're on Telegram.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know that. And it looks like Phil Goduski shared our stuff, huh? Or something?
I don't know.
Is that what I saw?
I don't know. It's on your Facebook, so I'm not sure.
Oh.
All I saw was the notifications going.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. I have an update about the Asaya. It fucking sucks.
It does.
I am just detoxing like crazy, and I really want to move past this. But it's got to come out. So there are praises to what it's doing. But this is a moment where I just feel very raw and very emotional, and it's hard. And I'm not sure how to pull past this. So maybe I'm not drinking enough water. I don't know. So what about you?
It's doing amazing things, but because of the cellular detox of it going deeper and deeper into the cells and bringing out old things, I am not excited for when it hits the core of the cell. Because I know that there is something deep in my cells, and my cells are dirty. They are. It's like a frickin' sewer. Try going into a sewer and cleaning it with antibacterial wipes. That's all you get. That is the Asaya, okay? That's what it's doing for me. I'm in there scrubbing, and nothing's coming out. So that's how I feel.
Jason.
It's wonderful. But it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a pleasant time, but neither is healing from the big C, right? You have the big C, you're diagnosed with stage 3, stage 4. You go to a place where they're just loading you up with all sorts of vegetables. That's not comfortable either. So this is, even though it sucks, I want you to know it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And Jason, what about you?
Bye.
I'm just picturing with those little wipes, trying to wipe, and just like your hand goes through. It's like, son of a bitch. It's like a window. It's like a window. You're trying to get clean. You realize the spots on the inside.
Right.
It's like, turn it around. And his laughing don't help because he's fucking. every time he laughs, I can't help it. I gotta laugh. Just, oh my god.
But you know,
yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, it puts you like through a detox. But I mean, it's good. I mean, if it's detoxing us, that means it's actually doing its job.
yeah,
You know, so.
absolutely. That was so funny. Thank you for that.
And actually, it's like a finger going through toilet paper when you're wiping your ass. And you're like, oh shit! Literally!
Literally. Like,
Everyone hates that.
It's true.
So you know, we always teach that we do not have to be the superwoman, the superman, the one that always is happy, the one that's always perfect, the one that's always got it together. We don't. And we don't have to. We don't have to with each other. We can be vulnerable and we can feel safe because the safety comes from within.
we're human. I mean, thing is, I mean, we can't sit here and say we're perfect because, I mean, we're all going through the same thing. I mean, some more than others, but it's like, just so people understand, it's like, you know, you don't have to be, you know, afraid or ashamed or anything. It's like, you know, we're all going through it and we're all family. So, I mean, it's, you know, we're all here for one another.
It's true.
Because if we weren't, I mean, we'd be fucked. I mean, I'll tell you how much right now. I mean, can you imagine, like, a big group of people, like, fucking with their backs turned to you, like, well, that fucking sucks. I want to flip this around a little bit. It's like, nope, ain't gonna work. Oh my god. Yeah.
If I could say something about that,
Yeah.
I've been on a 9-year detox as well, and you know, it just has to go in layers, and you have to realize it's a soul's journey. We can stop it if we want. We don't have to go hard and fast, you know, whether it be juicing or whether it be trying a new product or whether it is whatever. I can tell you personally that I've found that food is my medicine, but you can increase the dose if you eat too healthy. And to decrease the dose and to decrease the symptoms, the higher the dose, the more the symptoms, the faster you're healing, the more the symptoms, you know. So you really, you know, you can take grace with yourself and choose to pull one wipey at a time or grab the whole box. I don't know.
Go for it, Miyagi-san.
Wax off.
So, one thing I have noticed as I was looking at some before pictures, and a lot of the wrinkles that I was having has smoothed out on my face. Mm-hmm. That is incredible, and that happened after I started taking Asaya. So,
Hell yeah.
Incredible. That's incredible. So, I'll post the link if you would like to suffer like I am.
It's also in the description as well of all the videos. So, and by the way, we are on Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and I believe we're also live on Twitch as well, which nobody's watching from. How rude.
That's okay. We need to grow it.
So there's many different platforms, but the main one that we're mainly focusing upon is our YouTube channel, which is our backup channel at the moment, since our first channel got banned from a video that I just got Jason's approval from. That was nothing wrong with it because it's all facts and all proof, and yet they just want to consider it hate mail. Hate crime.
I mean, I saw a couple of them. I could see why they're saying it, but it's 100% truth though. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's like, you know, we've actually verified it. We've actually gone through it. We've all discussed this. Mm-hmm. But I guess if it's on a screen where people could actually see it and read it, they're like, "Oh, we can't have this." Right. I mean, you know, once they start hiding the truth from us, it's like it's bullshit. I mean, I don't know. It just, man. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Miki, when you see this video, it's 3 minutes and 7 seconds long. I mean, seriously, how much damage could you do in 3 minutes, 7 seconds? I guess we should look back on Saturday and see what happened. fucking little Thumbelina over here. What's that?
I thought that for sure YouTube was on our side by now, but yeah, I'm still getting a few and blocked. I've always got 2 strikes. I'm always right on the edge.
You're sitting there betting. You got that. Whoa. 2.5 strikes. You're like, sitting there, like,
am I gonna get someone now?
I'm swinging away. It's like, that's it. Damn it.
We can show you afterwards, Mickey, if you'd like.
Or we can stop.
Mickey's like, hello. They're like, strike. It's like, what the fuck did I do?
Right?
Okay.
That was me.
I think I can stop the stream on YouTube
Oh, no, that's
at
just...
the end of when we do it, so everybody that's on like Telegram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook will be able to watch it.
Probably will want to stop Facebook too because they're right up there with YouTube.
Facebook.
They're still deleting accounts.
Oh, they would delete your account, wouldn't they?
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
We
All right,
have
sorry,
a lot of...
Facebook. We're going to have to stop you, too.
We have a lot of connections for sessions there, and we don't want to ruin that.
Yeah. Go to Twitch or Twitter or
Telegram.
maybe even Telegram
Yeah.
at the end of this, and you'll be able to watch the video.
That'd be a great video for like True Social. It really would be.
Ooh, it would, wouldn't it?
Because honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that view at all.
It's wonderful.
I mean, even if I had a button, I swear to God.
Oh, like this? Or maybe like...
We all know who that's from.
I was on cue. Oh, am I not allowed to say that?
Oh, you can't say that. No.
It was on. I said on first.
Shit. Touchdown.
Well,
stop banned by saying hello.
Well, Mickey, we're so excited to have you on here. This is our first time having you on High Vibes Up. So welcome and welcome to our family.
Densities. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. It's a long time coming.
Right.
My energy's built up.
That it is.
Right. So, Jay, how would you like to do this? Would you like, is there something that you want to go over first before we have Miki show her slides, or you want her to go first and then?
Yeah, we can let Miki go first.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm interested in her slides, because she always has awesome slides.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so I got to first ask. I've got 2 sets or both. You want to talk about current news? Like, as in what's unwinding now from the researchers on my camp on the Republic side, or do you want to talk about like the 3-ring circus map? Because I feel like I'm just done, because I was kind of walking a line. I was walking a line and I'm just kind of walking off the front line, and I can go back to the science stuff and not sound like a kook. I just don't care anymore, who says what.
You're not a kook. You got 2 strikes. You're good to go.
So in circus we're in, man. I don't know if it's round or flat. I just know there's 3 rings, and that's all we know about so far. Well, we know a lot more, but
round and flat. I mean, it's a pizza. I mean, round and flat can be the same thing. That's the funny thing. But
yeah,
it's like, is it really Earth that we're on?
Well, I just want to know how big it is.
Exactly. I mean, think about. They have the map behind them. In fact, boom.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
That is like a Brainiac shower curtain right there.
Right?
Isn't it?
You imagine the knowledge that spans that map? I mean, just look at Jason's office and all of his works and all of his knowledge that he's not his works, but also, the expansion of what he's offering us. I mean, there's so much value in knowledge. It's so much more valuable than money. It's knowledge of power. It's everything, Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I mean, in the knowledge that you give us, that when you're telling me about the about all the the constellations, everything like that, I was just like this. Like, holy shit! Like this retrograde, and this, like even retrograde. Even when you say retrograde means that it's moving backwards, correct?
Yes, it's doing a loop.
Yeah, mm-hmm. How can something be spinning this way, but go backwards? Like it doesn't work that way.
I know it, but again, if you think of it as a turntable where the inner and outer rings are moving, you know what I mean? Then it makes more sense because they're rotate. I believe that you've got the rotating sun and moon on the inner ring, And then in the outer ring, you've got the rotating planets, and then the outer ring rotating planets. But these rings could be moving slower, faster. You know what I mean? We don't know yet. All I know is they're always the same distance from us, so there's no way Jupiter is going all the way around the sun.
Yeah. And then we look at it, and what I think of is like the firmament. Like the firmament's a clock, and when they say as the world turns, I in my belief, and that could be, I mean, this is just my belief, that the firmament is what's moving. It's like that's the clock. That's the big precession clock, because it just has that little like
Exactly.
round instead of us spinning. It's like it's just like our dome, and then we hear like it's always Western Hemisphere. Nobody talks about the Eastern Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. It's like, where's this Eastern Hemisphere? And I know where it is. It's right behind his damn head. It really is, right there. See? Right behind his head is like the land of clones. Right there. It's Earth 2, second Earth, right there. And that's it. It just, when we look at it, it's like, it just, it turns, because, I mean, and these people that sit here and say it's a spinning ball, and yet they want to, they'll die on that sword, but it's like, well, everything before the 1950s was flat. Then all of a sudden, henceforth, the CIA and NASA step in, and all of a sudden it's like, we're the kooks. It's like,
That's okay.
Really?
Like I said, it may very well be round. It's just much bigger, and
well,
when you just get into a state of observation, I can tell you, I can disprove round Earth, or at least that theory, in too many ways to not be looking into this, And every time these maps present, it just gives us more to find pieces of the missing puzzle. It's just more pieces. Like our puzzle went from 1,000 pieces to 5,000 pieces to, and you're working on a piece of it and someone else is working on a piece of over here. So it's just exciting to see how the news will unlock the map, and the map keeps getting bigger because we're getting higher and higher perspectives.
And that's it. And the thing is that, when we talk about round Earth, see, there's round, where it could be round, but then there's spherical. It's like, the thing about a sphere is that, see, when we talk about like dimensions, right? In third dimension, you see length, width, and height. That's why you see like a book. You could see the length, width, and height of a book, right? But the thing is that it's because it has breaks, right? It's because it has creases. A sphere has no breaks. Like if you look at a basketball or volleyball, anything like it's sitting on the ground, it's round, right? It's a sphere when you actually pick it up and you actually can feel it.
Yeah.
So technically, it could be round, but then is it a sphere? They talk about hemisphere, half sphere. So the hemisphere is like the Western Hemisphere. It has a dome. But they say as above, so below. Well, that's all that fucking kooky shit with fucking Albert Pike and them. They're the ones who are bringing all that up.
My mind is constantly asking, where are we? Like, are we a hair on an elephant's butt? Or are we like a cell in the body of Jesus Christ? Are we, are we the blood of Christ? And I'm curious. I'm always curious about that, because even in Star Wars 7, Rey's sitting there and she's in the cuffs, and she says, she's practicing mind control for the first time. She says, you will remove these restraints and leave this cell. It's as if to say the enemy is going to leave the cell. And if you look behind him, it looks like a bunch of cells to me.
Yep.
And I've had other quasars say that to me before. Like, they're looking at the blood and they're like, doesn't that look like planets? Doesn't that look like, expansion and universes? I don't know.
You know what?
There are 12 chakras in the cell.
Yeah.
But where are we in the macrocosm versus the microcosm? So in the macrocosm, right, we know there are 13, I believe, 13 or 12 or 13, what do they call them? Universes. And then
densities.
Yeah. And then there are 13 in us, and then there are 13 in our cells. So do the math. You know what I'm saying? If it goes from our cell to us, and there's 13 above and below, that's why if you go inward, you can learn what's outward. if it repeats, if it's a repeating pattern. Does that make sense? Like, that's what I'm always asking myself, and I don't have the answers, but I'm always looking for pieces, and I never know who's who else is looking for that one.
Let me see. Yeah, I had that.
It's on Facebook.
Dimensions and densities. Where are you? There it is.
Oh.
So the thing is that this should help a little, Mickey. Right here, like the densities and dimensions. So we have the densities on the left-hand side, and then we have the right-hand side, the dimensions. So we have like the first density, second, and third, right? And then we have the dimensions over here where, this is all like first, second, third is all third dimension. And these are the densities. And then you have the fourth dimension is time is linear. Then we have a ghost zone between third and fourth density. So we have the humans and other physical beings, self-awareness, which has 500 incarnations. So it's like we had 500 incarnations. Then we have fourth, fifth, and sixth. And this is the 5D right here, fifth dimension. And then here's our different densities. We have mastery of love, molecules are different, carbon to crystal, spiritual accelerated growth.
Where'd you pull this from, Jason?
Found this on it was a document that had all the densities and dimensions, and I wrote it out because it was all in fine writing. So I wrote it out so that you could read it because I couldn't blow it up. And I'll send it to you. I'll send all this to you. And
Yeah.
then, like here's all the mastery of instant wisdom, manifestation, and light, and the fifth density is quasi matter, which there's a Q. And then you have the mastery of love and light combined. So, I mean, that right there, speed of light and faster. Because remember they said that they can now travel at the faster the speed of light. I mean, there's got to be something here. And then we go to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which you have the building blocks of matter. Dimensions do not apply. So it's all densities from here on. So, I mean...
So it's 13 densities.
Yeah, 13 densities. And the thing is, 13 always comes up, like, because I think 13 moons and 13, because it all goes by the female.
I love this law of one on number 8. The last true point of individualism as
later.
Yeah.
It's
a lot to take in. Like, how does it all piece together again? Densities. I mean, I got to go research density. I was looking at dimensions and the laws of the universe. And then perspectives, but I gotta. You're adding.
Ruby Burton, she taught me a lot about this, and she's the one that told me about densities and dimensions. That there are two totally different things there.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about like 4D, 5D. It's like, well, which D is it? Densities or dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is all non-physical right here. So it's like pure consciousness, consciousness of stars, and that's pretty much, I mean, and then you have the galactic consciousness, and then, conscious entities grouped together to form galaxies. So it's like all of us can group together to form like a galaxy. And then it's like, we're like you said, like we're small, like cells. Like we could be like, each one of us is an individual cell in God.
Exactly.
And that's why all of us have to come together. Because
exactly.
at the level.
Well, let me add a little piece there, because the Bible does unlock. So the map unlocks what was it? The news unlocks the map. Well, map, I know you don't love Gematria, but map is 30. News unlocks the Bible too. The Bible is 30. Baby's 30. So when you just talked about, we're all cells working together for the greater good. So if I hurt you, then, that hurts God. And if you hurt me, that hurts God. And that's the whole story of Matthew and separating the goats from the sheep in the end time prophecy, where it's like those who do service to self or those who do service to others are both doing service to God. So therefore, if you do service to others, you're helping God. Yeah, and that's that law. But you're also connected to all things. It's not just your body. It's that expansion between your cells and realizing that your cells are communicating with the tree in the backyard, and they're communicating down deep into the earth, and that we can heal through the earth. There's just so much here. There's so much here to help us grow and expand that we haven't connected to, because we thought we were contained in this one vessel in the 7th dimension or the 3D. or the seventh density, because you just listed the densities, right? And
densities and dimensions.
I'm going to have to go. I'm not clear, just so everyone knows on the difference between those two. So I don't want to mix them up.
It's a lot to take in, and that's the thing. It's like, because when we look up Gematria, because when you look at the definition of Gematria, and they talk about the Kabbalistic and everything like that, because when you really look at these sentences that they form, right? It's like, how do they get this number from this number? It's like, the problem is that they have this number says this sentence. It's like, okay, but what else does that sentence say?
Yeah.
You could take like 353 and it can mean like Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, or it could mean like Satan is the only one here. It's like, and it's like, or Joey's mom's got a dick. I mean, what is it gonna say? I mean, we don't know. And that's the thing. It's like, there's always, when it comes to stuff like that, we don't know where it stems. Now, from what I've learned.
Wait, Kabbalistic, is that the language that Jesus was speaking only during the time of the scenes and the Qumran?
No, the Kabbalah.
The Kabbalah.
The Kabbalah. It's, I mean, when people find out how, because I get this shit all the time.
Is it like a clean language that doesn't curse and spellcast?
No, it's when it comes to Kabbalistic and shit like that, the Cabal, because that's where they get the Cabal from.
Okay.
And the Cabal, the Kabbalistic and everything like that. It's the Hebrews and all that actually, when they tainted this by letting these reptilians and all them come in, by these the Markabians, the humanoids and all that, when they came in, and that's why they want to dog Scientology so much, because when we found out like the beginning of Scientology, but then Scientology now how it's been corrupted, it's just like Gematria. Gematria is corrupted now, but when you get up to higher dimensions, it actually rectifies itself, where it actually takes out the evil and takes out the cabal aspect out of it, where it's actually a pure language, because everything should be by numbers. I mean, everybody's thinking that words and letters, I mean, those are the worst, because I mean, at least a 5, that's a 5. It's not going to change. 1 + 1 is always going to be 2. 1 + 2 is going to be 3. But when you look at like wood, do you mean WOOD, WOULD? I mean, there's so many different
meanings and confused. It is a spell casting language that is meant to keep us in a trap, and it's actually like we are almost cursing each other without the intention of that, and it puts us in a stronghold. So like, let me give one example. In tension. Do you want your body in tension? Like, no, not really. But do you but you intend to? Do you want to tend to your flock?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So, but what about intent? Do you want to be trapped in a tent? We just got through one word and we're like, bah! And that's how we're kept in here. That's when I freed my inner child in my visualization, 4 years ago, my inner child was trapped in a tent, protected by all the warriors that I had in my mind. So that could have been because of the language, for all I know, that my, subconscious had put me in a tent.
And our subconscious also, they call that the reptilian mind. And that's another thing. It's like,
should I call it unconscious?
Well, I mean, no, we're taking everything back, Mickey. Let's take it all back.
Let's take the whole brain.
Yeah, my inner child. I mean, that's still jumping out of the damn bed. It's like, my jumping out of bed. It's like, okay, let's get this shit done.
You're so funny.
And that's the thing. It's like, we're all kids. Why can't we act like it? It's like, if we're all God's children, if we're all God combined into one, like I said, every person is a cell in it. It's like matter. Does it matter? Are you matter? What matters? It's like, there's so many different, like.
Remember we were talking about the only difference between a plane and a sphere, a plane and a planet was a T.
T, that's it. And the thing is, you look at a T and like a lowercase t, it's like a cross, but it's an x-axis and a y-axis. It's like, these guys
keeps you in the 2D.
You just want to stare their fucking eyes out.
I could give you a lot more. I got a whole list for you today. I think we were like tuning into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wanted to know religion versus religion. make them new warriors against each other, create a new legion to fight one another, legion. There's just a lot. Sacred, that's a word I love, but it's just, you flip 2 letters and you got scared. And they do that because it's got the same gematria. And so I think it's important though to be a little bigger on that. Like, you know how there were like the quantum, or like they're taking our transcript. Let's talk about transcript. Your output is a script, right? Your DNA is a script, and they just turned you into a transgender, a transcript versus a manuscript. I want to be a living, so I don't want to be trans.
Yeah.
But so when your printout, let's say you write a document like a constitution, it has a lexicon, an overall value to the words. So every single word, it might have a value, but then you take the whole piece and it has another value. That's the lexicon you're speaking in. They were using that to target us whenever we were breaking free from the matrix. They were going through our transcripts. They were transcribing us. It goes deep, man. It's just like when it starts to unwind, you're like, woo.
It does. It flips everything. And when you start seeing these words, it's like I know it's in the Owaspy, the one Bible, it talks about the panic language. How they said that we speak in a panic language.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you take like panic, like panic. It's like, well, and then you see the root of all these words. It's like,
yeah, for the record, Jesus was speaking Aramaic. I just wanted to correct myself. He would only speak Aramaic when he went to the Qumran, and the Qumran was the university where they were protecting the Dead Sea Scrolls. If anyone didn't know that, that's where the Essenes were, and they were practicing the Ascension. And so he would travel the world, and he would pick up all this information and knowledge, like we are, which is so fun, from the mystics, and then he would bring it back, but he would translate it, because he wanted it back to the purity. And so imagine living in a village where you're speaking pure language and you're not doing any harm. You're not building any karma. Because how many times have you gotten in trouble and you just didn't know the words to work it out? You know you're upsetting someone, you're causing harm, you're causing harm upon yourself, but you just don't have the words to work it out. That is karmic load. You'll feel that when you enter the when you enter the courts of heaven, when either in your end time or when you find that because people can find the courts of heaven when they're living as well, and that's one of those dimensions or densities. I just don't know the words, but it is so important that we start to follow the laws of the universe, because the laws of the universe are what we were truly here to learn and to live by and to be guided by. And they're deep, man. I've been learning them myself, and I'm like, whoo, I was doing harm and didn't know it. And then every time you come into new knowing, you have a greater responsibility. It's like when you find out about the kids. Oh. You gotta now do something. And that's why I think a lot of people are like, la la la, because they don't want the responsibility. That's why they don't want to wake up, because they just, because if they don't know, then maybe they don't carry the karma.
That maybe it'll go away. It's like, no, we have to know, because if we don't know, like if we don't learn from the mistakes that are made, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And maybe that's what it is. And like you said, the ascends, right? Well, think about the Essenes and like these ascension. It's like how close that is. It's like maybe this whole thing is cyclical. How we're like with the Essenes, and it's like maybe like it's now starting to. Maybe we're on the upswing of learning what we need to learn, and it's all happening to us like full force.
Okay.
Like holy shit.
Okay. We've never had world peace before, guys. We've never been able to merge the knowledge of the whole world safely and not get murdered for it. I mean, are you kidding? That was not the fall of Rome. That was the rise of Rome, when they massacred the Essenes to take back that land, And I think that was like 500 AD or something. It's crazy how much hidden knowledge there is. As a matter of fact, even looking at restoring the republics in the States, it's like, whoa, guys, slow down. Just slow down a second. I know we think we're at war and we got to recover the States, but think about the knowledge. What if you find out that's the Garden of Eden and we're going back, I don't know how many years, we got to now decide how to reorganize the territories based on the sacredness of the land. I mean, it's just mind blowing. And then on top of that, you're going to learn new laws of the universe. So of course, we're going to be bound because everything is a bond or you're bound by, or you have a liability to, because you came here. You came here. So we now have to learn responsibility. I mean, there's a lot of expansion coming and detox.
Well, and the thing is too, with great power comes great responsibility. And if we as humankind expect to ascend, I mean, guys, it's gonna be, nobody said it's gonna be easy, but the benefits on the back end are like, I mean, it's better than going to shit and going to hell. I mean, fuck shit. Let's ride this till the wheels fall off. But now we're starting to understand the truth of a lot of this, and just trying to see how much has been lied to us, through the Roman Catholic Church and all that. And people think that whole church is good. It's like, is it now? And it's like you start seeing everything they're doing through there, and it's like, okay, so who's on our side here? It's like, we just have to understand, it's like we have to be on our own side, and we have to find out ourselves. We have to learn what's in ourselves first before we see, because once you start looking in yourself and you start realizing that, the only way that we're going to actually fix everything is to, unfuck ourselves and start saying that, you know what, we can't start pointing fingers and saying, oh, they're the problem, and say, you know what, everybody had a piece of that problem. We just have to say, okay, how can we as a person know what to look for, and just like the key signs, and seeing that, to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and to see that, like this shit going on with Biden and all, it's like, these people are fucking fruitcakes, and it's like they want to sit here and, do all this stuff to Trump, and, illegally raided his house, and now they raided Mike Lindell's, and everybody's, because they said they like Trump. Bees are on Trump's side. What? When has that ever happened in history? I mean, it's probably happened in history a long time ago, but I mean, for here in America, no, that's bullshit. But then we sit here and also think that we have this vision that, oh, America, land of the free, and all this. It's like, there are many more countries out there that are more free than us.
But
I mean,
I don't even know which ones are free though. Like, that's what's sad too, is we don't even know the history. We're focused so much on the history of America, but I don't know the history that I want to know about the Philippines, and that I want to know about, South Africa.
I think once that bitch died, I think that helped out a lot. Now we're in the checkmate. Now let's go after that fucking douchebag king.
If anybody had any question about this, that first kingpin, that first of the three, right? London Bridge is falling. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We now know. For anyone who still doesn't know, for sure, we won. I mean, and then the Pope coming out saying that all debts are due and everyone needs to trade out their promissory notes. And so there's all this infighting and everyone's freaking out and buying up gold. Of course they're buying up gold, and they're going to raise the value. So all of us who went out and bought gold, the value of gold's going up, guys. It's already started. Yep. I mean, and they're about to fund these foreign nations. They've got to balance out the third world from the first world. So the dollar and the euro coming down and other currencies going up, and they're about to be revalued. It's going to be amazing. Amazing amount of energy and healing and cleaning up and wellness. It's just crazy.
Now, the funny thing is, Miki, is that when you mentioned that about gold, I'm like that. Now, how people have been talking about September 24th, right? Yeah. It's going to be a big day and everything?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of reasons behind that. Because remember, if you go on two calendars, you've got the Julian and Gregorian. In a Gregorian calendar, September 24th is September 11th.
Oh.
Boom, there's already September 11th, right? Now, also, September 24th, guess how many days there are to the end of the year? 98. Another 17 there. Also, in 1869, there's a Black Friday. Gold prices plummet after United States President Grant orders the Treasury to sell large quantities of gold after two people plot to control the market, right? One of their names is James Fisk. The other one's name is Jay Gould.
Ooh.
Do we know there's another Jay Gould?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do.
Is that the same Jay Gould that we know of?
Well, this was back in 1869.
Oh, so time traveler then.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just
We never know.
Yeah, we never know.
Russell J. Gould looks like Ingersoll Lockwood. With a beard and goatee, looks just like him.
Have you met him? Russell?
Oh, no. Fuck, I met you guys. I mean, fuck, I'm good. Fuck. And then we'll meet Papa T, we'll be like, hey, we're set. It's like everybody else, you guys get to meet us. It's like, we're not putting anybody on pedestal now. It's like, you guys come meet us. We're cool.
You can give us a lesson on the quantum language.
Like, let's go.
Talking about currencies really fast, the BRICS,
Yes.
that new BRICS bonds that are coming out, what are you guys' thoughts about those? Because I heard that they're going to be taking over the USD and they're going to basically make the USD like plummet.
It should. I mean, BRICS has been around for a while. Because what it is that BRICS it's an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And you got Turkey that joined them. Who else? You have all these different countries that are joining them. Huh. And what they're doing is they're trying to take, the USD, take them out. And then, because, I mean, we're not covered by shit.
Yeah, we're not.
I mean, our stuff's pretty much coloring books.
It's glorified.
Yeah. It's that shit people were sitting there wiping the inside of us.
The sewage that we were talking about earlier in the beginning?
Oh, yeah. That's it. And they call them dead presidents, but the thing is, I mean, Benjamin Franklin was never a president.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the one bill they changed. They drastically changed. They put the blue line in because everything to the right of that blue line is all good because it has the Declaration of Independence and it has everything in gold. And the seal is the United States Treasury. Then when you look to the left, then you have that smug-looking child molester. And then you have like the Federal Reserve. And then it's all bad. So it's like, which side are you on? And they had to change that bill because that douchebag Obama went to the Supreme Court and he got the mint of the $100 bill, and he took that to Centennial Energy, which is in Bangkok, Thailand, and he had $3 trillion printed with the old bill in Bangkok, Thailand. That's why they had changed the bill too. That's why there's more hundreds now than there are singles being used in the world.
Wow.
It's fucking weird, ain't it?
Very.
So, what, man? And what they did is that they had the money on it. You had Obama and Clinton got together, and they used this tungsten. They were making these molds, right, for the gold bullion, for the bricks, and then they just coated them in 24 karat gold, and they just passed them off to Chinese. Well, Chinese came and got, and now they tested them. All of them are bad. So now you have all those bricks of gold out there that nobody even knows. That's bad. So that's bad too. But you got Obama, you got Clinton and all them. It's like you want to talk about Antichrist? Somebody, look at these assholes. These guys are fucking bad. You got the Clintons, Bushes, you got Cheney, I mean, how much more evil can you possibly get? Then you get Hillary. Ugh, fucking kangaroo.
She's one of the Clintons, but she's just, a singularity being that we just focus upon Hillary.
and then, I mean, then you get the whole Mothers of Darkness castle. I mean, there's just so much evil that we don't even know about, that we're just now learning about. That I mean, hell, when people find out that America, I mean, as sad as it seems, America, we brought a lot of these problems upon the world ourselves. We didn't do it, but I mean, it went under our flag and under our, our jurisdiction and everything like that. But it was the people that force themselves into power, like the Pelosi's and Schumers and all them, these jagoffs that put themselves there, and they kept themselves there by using Dominion voting and all this. So it's disgusting on how much we've been used and abused, but we can't take that anymore.
It's
like
It goes so much deeper too when you find out what those governors were doing. Like we were signing a trust by registering to vote, but it's not our trust, not one where we the people are the beneficiaries. But what you didn't know is that because we made the governors and these elected officials our trustees by registering to vote, just registering to vote, they now have the authority to draw money from your master trust, your Sesta KV trust, just because you're in danger. So they could pull trillions out of our trusts, okay, transfer it to murder people, against our free will.
Wow.
And so our energy, our life force energy, which holds up those trusts, because we back gold, humans back gold, we create in this realm. We give value to gold. No one else gives value to gold. Everything is about our works. So we create, we back gold, and then the dollar is supposedly backing gold, but it's not. Or gold back dollar. You guys follow me. But so these trustees for the corporate trust, not the Republic Trust, the corporate trust, we've now given them authority just by registering to vote to use our life force energy and our trust to go and murder people. And Obama dropped a bomb once every 7 minutes.
And you think about it, that word alone, trust. I mean, that is like the biggest word. Rob, we were talking about like the words. Are they that word? I mean, it's like, do you trust this person? It's like,
I was watching a TikTok where they were showing Biden throwing bombs, Obama throwing bombs, and then you get three sets of Trump shaking hands with the same presidents, the same people making peace.
Yep.
That is peace.
He even said in one of his latest videos, I thought was great, he said, I waved the white flag. See, people have, again, thought surrender is such a bad thing, but surrender creates peace. Surrender creates lowering or lessening the tension. You surrender in the body, and you lessen the tension, And so surrender is where all the answers are. That's where they all are, is when you create peace.
It's true. And surrender isn't what we truly think it is. It isn't giving yourself up. It's actually letting things go.
Entering into the law of one, realizing there's such an abundance. There's unlimited credit. We've been forced into a limited society, lack limitation mindset. Because we were constantly the debtors. And when we start realizing the debtor-creditor balance, that was so off balance, we were forced into being debtors because we never had access to those master trusts. We didn't even know there was another side of the ledger.
We didn't even know anything about it. And it's like, what? It's like,
I know. I look back on like a year ago, I didn't even know there was all this wealth hidden from us, yet alone the coffer accounts. Don't even get us started in the coffer accounts, the third, fourth, fifth set of books in each county, city, and state.
Jesus.
What on earth?
Took everything from us.
They just took, It is overwhelming because then you wonder how much of the karmic debt that Trump just released. He's emperor of the world. The energy flowing through this. And by the way, there are multiple counts in the Bible where these types of things had happened, where there was a massive transfer of wealth back to equal from the wicked to the righteous. Moses, they took all the wealth from the Pharaoh. I'm sorry, the Israelites. You know what I mean? So when we exit this spirit of mammon, when we get to be freed from that spirit of fear, of lack of limitation, because there is no lack or limitation. If you really get into like Dolores Cannon's work, or Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, or Alba Weinman, these are the deep hypnotists that are bringing people into a state of safe expansion. And it's like they can pull back anything from the quantum field through through multiple people being hypnotized. Dolores Cannon brought back, Nostradamus' real writings and works through just hypnotizing people. They could finish each other's sentences, just proving the quantum field exists.
Hey, Miki, real quick, what are the Dolores Cannon? What were the other two names you mentioned?
Alba Weinman so Dolores Cannon has passed, so her work has stopped, but she's got lots of books. And Dolores Cannon, just by the way, wrote Jesus and the Essenes. So she had people that had walked with Jesus that were reporting back, really fascinating. And then Alba Weinman, she's got all sorts of videos on YouTube for people that want to go listen to the expansion happening in this time, because she's really documented and putting this work out. And then Sandra Rose Michael, I feel like was kind of the pioneer, at least that I know of, because she was doing this type of deep hypnosis. I mean, she doesn't like the word hypnosis. She likes, I forget her words and I would really mess it up. And if I do, I will not give her the respect she needs, because it's all about free will. And so it's a guided expansion type of thing. Her words are better than mine. But, because you don't want to hypnotize anyone. That's not the intent. That's not the will. I hate that. The intention is.
I totally understand how you feel, because Candy and we do the same thing as hypnotizing people, except it's not hypnotizing them. It's like we go into our own hypnosis to find the lifetimes for the people. Yeah, that's what Candy and I do. Instead of putting somebody else in that, of taking away their free will, we do it ourselves. We're like, okay, I'll go flying. Bye, bitch.
Self-hypnosis, it's like, And it's like, what am I meant to know today? It's like your soul or your spirit guides us, right? What we're meant to know today. And it's such a freedom. What a freedom you're offering.
It is awesome to be able to see that type of stuff and to see the liberation of the people that are going through it when they come back for a second session. Oh my God, it's like they're a whole new person.
We saw one woman, as we were working on her, she came on gray and all the color returned to her body. Oh. And I said something and her daughter was there with her and she goes, I see it. So it was not a figment of our imagination.
It wasn't just the camera. It was actually, she was like, old school. It's awesome, the type of work that all these hypnotists and everyone, all these spiritualists do. And when we can all come together as one and just do this work, it's amazing. It's truly amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it took me a little while in doing that work, accepting that it wasn't just a coincidence. I think it's the same with anything. When you get into it, it seems like a coincidence. But the more you test it and the more you see how it's helping you, whether it's a perspective on yourself or a perspective on, a relationship you're working on or another lifetime, it's what you needed to know to break through whatever barrier you were facing.
That's true.
And there's all intuition is true. Well, that's a big statement, I mean, especially if you're trying to write the story, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you need to be in a state of deep relaxation to bring back the truth? Or how do you, actually, let me just ask you that question, if that's okay. What is, when you're in a state of creation versus intuition, you know what I mean? Like, or deep hypnosis versus I'm manifesting something new, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever do any kind of manifestation work, or has anyone come back with that? Like the future script, not the past script.
Some. It's not like manifesting a job or money, something physical like that. Because people manifest health a lot in our sessions. Some have manifested love, some have manifested jobs, some have manifested money. but the love, the jobs, and the money are not as common as the health.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because when you don't have your health, everything just sort of comes to a stop.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
true. And that's what they've been desiring the most. That's what we all have been desiring the most, is the health. Because when you feel healthy, you have the power to go and grab what you truly desire.
Yeah, who wants their butt cheeks hurting all the time?
You mean my sewage water?
I'm not pointing fingers, but
Oh, I'm on that side of you. Okay.
right here. Right
We're
here.
all pointing different ways.
Do a buzzer.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. That's the case of ramen and ace. Woo, ramen noodles. Bad part.
So how long do you guys usually go? Do you want to share some slides?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Are they safe for for YouTube?
Nope. Nope.
I think so.
Okay.
Let me see here. I think so. Checking them before I share. I think so. They don't look at the screen and transcribe the screen, do they? I thought they just did it with voice.
Well, it was.
The song was from YouTube itself, and it was free, so they wouldn't do that with that. It was an actual person that was looking at the slides that I put together.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I'm looking at stars here and
Some
the three-ring
sort of-
circus.
Yeah, I think you're
I
all
think it
good.
should be fine.
Okay, here we go.
Do it.
Plus, I don't think that they know about our second account, really.
You guys see that?
Yay!
So you remember this, Jason, right?
Yes, I do.
So we basically are looking at Rome, and this is the Vatican, and the Vatican is sort of creating that Orion's belt, and you've got all these, these. Every single star is a pretty specific, marker for either this is Roma o Morte, so Rome or die, and this was a Mason, obelisk or something. And so there's just something at every one of these points, and it's interesting that this club, if you're looking at the aerial view, is around and over the Olympic stadium that they had there, right? So everyone knows that this is a battle between the bull, the Taurus field, and Orion, right? Well, I was really interested in Eridanus. So this is the flowing river that you see here, and it's actually considered the Sea of Souls. See if I can share Stellarium here.
Oh, kind of like the river Styx, huh?
Yes.
Oh, fucking Stellarium's awesome.
Yeah, so here again, you have that battle between the Taurus and the bull, which they laid out over, if anyone hasn't seen that, this is the aerial map of Rome. And remember, it said that, Rome would fall and 13 kingdoms would rise. This is a prophecy in the Bible. Well, it's really 13 horns would rise, but a horn is the kingdom in the Bible. So and then 3 would fall, and then, a little horn would rise, and it would be different from the rest, with the face of a human or humanitarian effort.
Oh,
Well, there's so much in this story here that I wish I could learn more about, but Orion, right at his heel, right? You have the Sea of Souls called Eridanus. Well, what's at the end of the Sea of Souls? What does that look like?
Let's see.
You gotta look like this.
Where you at?
It's the Miki clock.
It's
Can you see how it's the end times for the Sea of Souls? It's the Miki clock at 10 and 2.
Oh,
Right. Can you see that?
yeah. If I'm looking at the same thing you are, yes.
And it's called the horologium. And it's actually like a pendulum clock with a pentagram at the end, pointing up at the clock. I'm always looking at the pentagram. Is it pointing down or up? and it's pointing up at the clock, which is really interesting. So here we get this calm end times for this sea of souls. And I kept wondering, are we trapped here in a loop? Are people reincarnating here on Earth in a loop because they're getting because their karmic load isn't allowing them to expand? I don't know how I feel about the loop. Do you have an opinion about that one, Jason?
I think we're in a big karmic loop, and we keep on doing it over and over and over again because they have us trapped in here. They trapped our spirit, soul, and ether, and they put us in these vessels that's like a slave. Like we're a slave, like a slave vessel, like because we're much higher, we're celestial beings, which are the star people, and they actually took our spirit and soul and ether and they transferred them to these vessels. And every time that, one vessel would time out, then we would go to the moon, which was the death recycling amnesia trap. And that was by, what's his name? Wes Penry. And we talked about that. And it's like, then we just go back into another vessel. And it's like another vehicle over and over and over again. So just until we actually break the cycle.
Yeah, so this is the end times for the cycle. That's my take. And of course, again, you've got the white rabbit, follow the white rabbit, right? So Orion had taken over the remember all the things that were going underground, at that Vatican.
Yeah.
And this is about to fall. This is why I think it's critical to know this, because right here, there's your constellation you talked about, M42. I'm sorry, not constellation, the nebula.
Yeah.
And under there on this Earth map, they've got certain, well, first of all, what does this look like? See that? See that shape? I mean, kind of, I don't know. I'm not going to apply anything, but there, I was looking for certain parks and stuff where, and there's like a few parks that had very concerning, how it's oftentimes they've got the facilities underground in the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think anything good was going on.
No. And you know what? When you look at that other map with the stars, like right below his belt, the 3 stars, I'll have to look for it. But there was something posted a while ago. It was like a couple years ago, and during all these drops and everything, that there's like an M42 and an M43 right there. That there's something to those, 2 of those stars. So, and
Yeah.
right by where you mentioned those parks, right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's the male part,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. It's the dick.
That's what I'm trying to stay on YouTube. But now look at that map again. Do you know what I mean? They're literally creating city streets here.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just like what they did in DC. How they did like in stars, like an owl and everything like that. It's like they're doing the same thing here. They just.
And I noticed that, this is interesting too, because the red shield is the Rothschild. But remember, you guys, the entertainment that they started out with here was what? It was bullfighting.
Yep.
And if you could kill the bull with the red cape, then he deserves to die. And the red cape is the fake media, the fake scholars, the fake everything, right? And so this is them controlling our Taurus field. This is not this is real. I mean, it's they're rebuilding it on the map. So obviously it matters to them and has power to them.
And you mentioned the Taurus field, Taurus bull, Taurus field. It's like there's
toroidal,
field. How it's like
the torso, all of it. It's like all these root words. It just all starts coming together.
And the torso is where the Adonis belt.
Mm-hmm. Then I don't know how much you guys have gotten into the Taurus, but look at this. I want to show you a little star here that might ring a bell. Can I find it? I'm looking for Aldebaran.
Yep, it's right there.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right there.
I see it.
We see the name Baron in there, And then of course, the Pleiades, the heart of the bull. Well, so I just want to take you guys on a quick journey here, because once I saw this, and that this small hand, let's follow the small hand,
It's usually
right?
attached to a pope.
What?
Sorry. So it's usually attached to a pope.
He is pointing at the rise of the phoenix, right? The rise of the phoenix, and the phoenix is gonna break through the sculpture and all the fake science and into the age of Aquarius. So that little hand is pointing right to the mixing of the waters.
Where's your mouse? I don't
Yeah, I
see
was
your
gonna say,
mouse.
yeah.
Oh, you can't see my mouse. That's why. I'm sorry. I'm pointing at it. How do I show my mouse?
It was showing a little while ago and it disappeared.
Sorry, I don't know what button to push. Well, basically, I'll put it in the center, okay? There's your small hand. Everyone see it? I know it's upside down, so I think you guys are I don't know how to change the contrast.
What do you mean? You put what in the center?
Her mouse.
I'm putting the clock in the center of the screen.
Nothing
Oh,
changed.
that's because you probably shared the screen to just this picture, so it's not going to show anything else. So you have to screen share to the whole desktop.
Oh my gosh,
to be able
you guys
to share
haven't seen
everything
Solarium the whole time?
else. Yeah. So press the screen share.
I was showing you so many cool things.
So if you press the
Do
screen
you want me to
share.
do a fast forward? So I don't share a screen, I share all.
Yes, you share screen, not a certain one. So
I was sharing screen.
it's
Let's
the top
see.
left one.
Is it showing?
That's cool. I see
There we
it
go.
now.
Now we see
Solarium
something.
now? Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, you guys. I just screwed up the whole. Yeah. When I said I'm going to open Solarium and you didn't see it. I'm sorry.
We're like, I think we see it.
I know. Oh, sorry. All right, let me walk back through that. You've got his male part here. That was that nebula that we talked about, M42, and then you've got Lepus right below him.
Ooh, that's me.
That's the white rabbit. Follow the white rabbit, right? Represents the children. I think Lepus does come to 73. Children 73.
interesting.
Sorry,
I'm bored
Jason.
you-
Okay, perfect
No,
73.
today
And if I got that wrong, guys, it's because I haven't done Gematria in a while. This is your Sea of Souls. You see the souls in the Eridanus, the Sea of Souls?
Uh-huh.
They lead down. Can you guys follow me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
They lead down to the Miki clock, the horologium.
Oh,
Think-
I see.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, and you see how it's pointing at 10 and 2?
Yeah.
It's just upside down because it's really hard for me to spin this map. And you see how it's actually a pendulum clock
Huh. Yeah.
with your 5-point star, the pentagram, pendulum with a pentagram. Interesting. So if you follow that little hand, it takes you through the rise of the phoenix, past the sculptor or the fake, illusionists, and then into the mixing of the waters. And then the other hand actually leads you to the Libra or the judgment. It's hard to move Solarium.
So
Anyway,
You think that is what people are referring to, the West Gate and the East Gate?
yeah, I actually do. I think that is the West and East. I do, because it's the separation between the goats and the sheep we were talking about a second ago. Those who want to do one, yeah.
Okay. That makes really.
Yeah, that's a
sense.
really good catch there, kid. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one step further. Can you see my slides again?
Yep.
Okay, good. The screen you looked at forever. Okay, so now you guys have seen this map. Are we walking in agreement with this map, or
Oh yeah.
yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you basically have I don't want to trigger anything, but the way we say things. Am I allowed to say those words on YouTube?
What words?
You have the Earth, okay?
Oh, flat Earth? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Uh-huh.
Oh, you can't say fuck though. That's fucking not allowed. Thought I'd let you know.
Yeah. Well, so I was noticing Gemini is here, and that's awfully close to the Gemini, right? That name. And it's the two hemispheres of the brain, right? The left and the right.
Yeah.
Have you guys kind of looked at this? Almost looks like two lungs or two hemispheres of the brain. I mean, this looks a lot like a brain.
Yeah, it
And then
does.
there's Anubis. Anubis is right above that too.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot in this map. You got Horus, Atlantis, Lemuria.
Valkyrie, Odin, shows about the Vikings and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
10 is also short for Akaten.
And Atum,
Atum. And then you have Thoth.
Thoth, or Thoth, yeah. Nemo,
Finding
Osiris,
Nemo.
and Isis.
Jeez.
I mean, it's like, whoa.
And then it goes out from there, from above Kid's head, and then it just starts,
Right?
it just expands. And that's the 178, because there's 178 worlds, 178 terras in there. So when he talks about, like, it's been 1,000 years, it's been walls and wheels. And in post 1,000, there's a single letter H. And H is the letter 8, is the number 8, numerical. And then it's 178, so the 17 is always a Q. And then the 8, there's your H. There's your post 1,000. So 1,000 years, walls and wheels. If you notice, everything's circular. So walls and wheels. Everything spins.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So I was really thinking if there's a firmament here, and we're looking through the firmament, and there's another firmament here, you know, between this. So it's like a 3-ring circus. I keep joking, and we're in the center.
Truth.
If I was looking out from this angle here, can you guys still see my mouse?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I was looking out from this angle and I were to line up the stars in the moment that it lines up with Gemini, if I were to line up Gemini with Gemini here, you guys following me? Mm-hmm. Then where would all the rest of the stars line up? Like if this is that point in time where, you know, where would all the rest of the stars, and would that unlock any stories about because there's all this Greek mythology and Roman mythology about these constellations. So if I can line up one constellation on one planet that has many names we have heard, then I can start lining up the mythology and the Roman mythology and the Greek and, you know, the Babylonian, etc., and just see how they all lay over each other. So I did my best to lay out the map. The constellations as they would look if I was sitting inside the firmament. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're looking out, and this is our view. You're looking out, and this is the firmament. And so the planets would appear that they're running this way because they're outside. So this red line, that's the planets. That's the zodiac. Okay.
Okay.
And so are you guys following me so far? Any questions? Okay. All right. So then next thing, so I don't know if you guys knew this, but Draco's right at the top of the dome. Okay. It's right at the top. But so I lined up Gemini, right? Because this is Gemini, and we would be looking out over this. I lined this up on the direction of Gemini. And now you see here's Orion. And here's Eridanus. Let's follow that Sea of Souls again and see where that ends up. The Miki clock ends up right on top of Horus.
Oh.
Right there at the edge of
That's where the
the
10 is.
Anunnaki, technically.
The Anunnaki lands are right above that.
So it lands right here. There's your clock and there's your pendulum here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, whoa, this is lining up a little too close.
Valkyrie.
So, the Horus and the name of the clock is called the horologium. So they're also similar in name. Anyway, so from there, I took it further and I was like, okay, so if this is the Horus, the eye, it's like, I am the eye in the sky, looking at you, ooh, I can read your mind. So is it the end of mind control, end of mind reading? I am the maker of rules, dealing with fools. I can cheat you blind. And I don't need to see any more to know that I can read your mind. I can read your mind. I can read your mind. Like, whoa. And that's on the cover of that, the Alan Parsons project, Eye in the Sky.
Huh.
Well done.
I think it's end times for them.
Yeah.
I think this is clear to me. That Miki clock had so much information in it, it's ridiculous. So I also brought back the Miki clock if you line up Gemini. Do you see what I'm saying? There we are, pointing at Horus again, at, you know, the new age. So again, the top of the clock here, you know, is pointing at what's, you know, at where we're fighting. And so remember how I told you the small hand was pointing to the Aquarius, right? Well, there was, okay, here it is. It's kind of there, but not really there. The ice shelf kind of lines up with that mixing of the waters. You know how the ice shelf has these holes in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's kind of harder to see because I've got the map going so close to the edge, but I don't know. It just seems like, and again, it's hard to get perspective because like Stellarium doesn't let me lay it out like on a globe. Like I got to keep moving around to try to like line up these slides. But anyway, and then last but not least is your logo, you know, and I just wanted to know again, where's the bullseye and where's that pointing at and what direction is Gemini? But another thing I noticed, and I don't have the slide with me, but it's so interesting. You know, the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's works with, you know, is it Adam almost touching the finger of God?
Yeah.
Well, God is on the right hemisphere and he's literally, if you look at it again, he's literally in a red hemisphere and it looks just like, you know, the right hemisphere of the brain. So the God brain is the right hemisphere, you know, and Adam with the creation of the left. It's just interesting. So just wanted to share that because this map kind of unlocks some, you know, questions for me. Do you care if I can move on or do you have any questions? Okay, so last slide here. I was so curious. I know that each age has a different frequency, but people think we're going up in frequency. Raise your frequency, right? Remember how everyone says that?
Uh-huh.
But I've had some scientists say no, to be in a healthy state, you want to lower your frequency. So I'm just going to test that, right? So I'm looking at Pisces. We're going from the age of Pisces into Aquarius. Right? So you're actually going from F to E. So you're going down a step. And these are the frequencies of each note, right? Here are the gamma through delta waves, delta being the best wavelength for us. Like if you look at Rewired, that series with Joe Dispenza, he gets into some great stuff in that series. People should go watch episode 11 in particular. Joe Dispenza, Rewired. Episode 11 will blow your mind because they're watching what's happening to people and they're tracking their brain activity when they enter into the 5D. And they're, you know, and this is incredible work because they're jumping from the average so far, like more than they've ever seen. And then, so anyway, so we're coming into a lower frequency. So anyway, I just want to say that is an interesting find. I had a friend named Paul Edge that kind of pointed that out to me and I was like, I really want to kind of go see because we're creating a new resonance pattern. So have you guys ever watched that, you know, that test where they've got, you know, the little sand particles on the round, maybe drum, and they change the frequency and they create a whole new pattern of sand particles? Mm-hmm. That's a resonance pattern. Well, every time, you know, the resonance changes, the patterns change. And so we are in a state of total chaos before cohesion. We're in that state of transition where all the sand pieces are moving and we're very affected by this.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Very affected by this. And so, yeah, anyway, just wanted to share that, those slides. That's all I got there.
That's
That
beautiful.
Is amazing.
Wow.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I don't get to talk like stuff like this when I'm talking to my serious, like Bond friends. They're like all about law and order and finance. They're like, you're nuts if you even look at those round Earth theories or flat Earth theories.
Yeah.
Well, HVU family was doing a lot of wows and amazing. They loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Do they have any questions? I don't know. I'd be curious to look into more because there's so much to explore in that map, and you know more of the stories than I do, Jason, about Isis and Osiris and the story of Horus and all the Egyptian mythology.
It is just, and all the different mythology. Well, I don't even know if we should even call it mythology anymore.
I've thought that many times.
And it's like
Call it a repeating story.
Yeah, it's like it's the same story over and over. It's like, how many times can you it's like reading a story and it's like, how can I liken it to? Okay, it's like this. Okay, say you go to the high class store, right? And see Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? Like, oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But then you go Aldi and you see different names. Same shit, but it's just different names. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like going to different stores and seeing different names for the same damn cereal. It's like, no matter what you get, it's the same damn cereal with a different name, but still going to have the same outcome because it's going to come out your ass. That's it.
You chew it, you swallow it, and it all comes out the same.
All comes out your ass. That's it.
And you have to wipe it up with the dollar bill.
Don't get those wipes the kid was using to clean the windows.
So it's a theme we got going here.
Yeah.
But I think the reason they had to call it a myth, right, is because these ideas are coming from the quantum field, or they're coming from, and then they're repeating through the quantum field, or I'm saying, I've always known that when I paint, and I've painted my whole life, I'm usually kind of painting the future, or I'm painting what I'm manifesting, or you know what I mean, or I'm painting my story, or what I'm seeing in my visualization. So, I think that's why they have to control the arts and entertainment mountain of influence so much, and keep us trapped in these stories that they want.
You know what I noticed about that clock when you put it on that map is that the minute hand was pointing towards the other place, right? And then
it was pointing toward the judgment, which is the Libra.
The hour was pointing away from everything else, but the second hand is what got me, because that one was pointing towards the A10, the open slots. And the A10 is where the Akaten live, and they're the ones that are trying to liberate us. But they can't walk through that spot because that spot is being guarded, so they have to make a whole new way to come into the ice wall, is what I'm hearing from other people on TikTok. So that right there just caught my attention, because what I teach, what I love to teach, what I've been learning is it's the smallest things that matter. And what's the second hand? The smallest thing. That's what matters the most. Every second counts.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm believing, is that they're starting to break through. They're starting to break in.
We're going through to the other side.
Yeah.
Do the laughter.
What? This one? No, this one.
Boo! Boo! You suck.
I need to get some booze on there.
You suck at singing. Boo!
Do you want to sing "Eye in the Sky"?
No, I'm like, oh no. I hope this is a karaoke night, man. I'm done. I'm
we still need to set that up.
Oh God. It'd be bad.
That's one thing I would never do. I'll get up here and I'll talk about these crazy subjects, but I won't go singing karaoke.
Guilty with
I'm not brave enough for that.
Guilty with enough drinks. We all have a past, I guess.
We all do have a past, that's for sure.
So Grace wants to know, so why are we lowering our frequency, not raising it? Because, now that's her question. I had the same question because when I think of lower frequency, I think of the anger, murderous, jealousy thoughts, right? So take me through that. Take us through that.
we're hijacking our movement a little bit. And I think you're trying to raise densities and dimensions, or become aware of all dimensions, because dimensions, there's no one dimension better than the other, right? But there's an expansion to those densities. And like there's this guy named Matthias, I forget his last name. He also is on Gaia, and he has a whole series. Man, Gaia's rocking it, dude. There's some stuff coming out that is so amazing. You can tell the disclosure is now happening of the new information. Another one is Sacred Geometry on Gaia. That one just came out. So, and Sound of Creation. Woo! These are some good series, guys. This is great stuff. I mean, I'm still wrapping my head around the frequency, just like you are. Because you're talking about the map where this word has a higher frequency than the low word, right? Mm-hmm. I actually think, I don't know, we got to go look back at Emoto's work and, learn from these experts that have been looking at frequencies more than we have, to be honest. So if you look at Joe Dispenza's work, he'll show you that in the brain, when you go into meditation, your wavelengths are getting much longer. And the best thing you can do is so he's got a printout. So he's got people, I don't know, in the Strange Days thing. Remember that? I got a kid on that. And, they're printing out these, 50 wavelengths that they're getting from all over the brain. And when you can get into perfect synchronicity where they're all the same, because they start out all wonky, before you start coming down and into your meditation. But then they get very clearly synchronous and they get very clearly longer. So I would say people need to go watch that and help me research. I mean, I'm on my own. I'm in a silo. So the more people that can help me understand this, I'd like to know if that map that we've been looking at the frequency of words or emotions, really, if you had that device and you said love, you would learn, the difference between love and hate as far as what frequencies are putting out, or thinking love and then thinking hate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know to answer your question.
Well, from everything that I've been learning about frequencies and vibrations, there are 3 points to everything. There are frequencies, and then there are vibrations, but there's that missing third. What's that third? Volume. So think of it as a radio. You have the frequency, which is the 98.6, which is down here, and then you have the 105.9, which is up here. And every frequency tends to change. So the 106 has been hijacked, and we've all been taught we need to go to the 106 when it's the 98.5 down here. That is the love frequency that you need to be at. But right now, you're like climbing up. So you need to come back down. And then change your vibration, which are the words that you use that go through that frequency. And then you choose the volume of how high the volume or how low the volume that you want to distribute to either that say to yourself or to another soul or to your guides or whatever that you want to convey it to.
Is that new right now?
No, I've been teaching that for a while.
Where was I?
La la la.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's the thing about that, is that when they talk about lower the vibration, all that, the frequency, remember, in the human resonance, we have to get to one specific point, 13.31, or 13.13, 13.31, right? For the Earth and us. Now, the Earth, they're ringing like a bell, right, with energies, trying to boost its frequency, right? Mm-hmm. If they're trying to move the frequency up for Earth, what does that mean? We can't be going up because we have to meet in the middle. We have to start coming down.
That's true.
And that's it. We have to start knocking ourselves down. And I think what it is that our arrogance and ego thinks that we have to be at the top. We have to be at the pinnacle and all that. It's like, not necessarily. There's nothing wrong with coming down and meeting in the middle. So I think that could be a possibility too.
I think that's a really big possibility. Nice catch, Jason. I think that's a really big. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, because it's all about flipping it.
Exactly.
Surrendering versus fighting. No fight or flight. Instead, go into that state of rest, relax, heal, surrender. See, even certain people in churches, like I know Dr. Michael Beckwith. He is a minister, and he's just amazing. He's like, he was on the movie The Secret, filmed by Mickey Willis. And I don't know if anyone's watched The Secret, but it's the law of attraction. And it's just, that one's a life-changing documentary. I think everyone should watch The Secret. That's one that's been around for a while. I asked my son, I totally got him, I got him one time. I said, I'll give you more video games if you watch The Secret. And he has memorized every word of that thing ever since. And he's only like 5. So anyway, in that, Michael Beckwith, he talks about how in his church, they'll force meditation. They'll be like, no, for a workforce, you're going to spend 30 minutes meditating in between the work time. And he's very clearly proven that they're way more effective and efficient when they meditate. And the people that come in and they don't want to meditate, they're working twice as hard to get half the work done, as less work done. And then they always come into the meditation groups, because they realize, wow, these people are way more effective than me.
So Kit was just sharing something with me. You want to share that? Because that gives a little bit, another piece to the puzzle.
Because, in the beginning of our live, how we've been talking about how I've been raising my voice with Candy and been kind of like frustrated and mad and all that. Well, it's because I've been heightening my frequency. I've been going up there in frequency. And every time that I get mad, I'm up there in frequency. And I need to bring my frequency down. And that's how I'm feeling right now, is because my frequency is really low.
To 0 point.
Exactly, because my vibration's high. I am at high vibes right now, but my frequency is at a very low state. So right there is proof to me that we need to start lowering our frequency. And like Jason said, if the Earth is going up, we need to come down, because if we're going the same way, the Earth is going to pass us by.
No, I mean, if we're going the same way, we're never going to meet. I mean, that's
exactly.
It's like when they talk about when Miki talks about surrendering, it's like there's nothing wrong with surrendering, because there's nothing wrong about losing a battle, but knowing that we won the war.
It's all.
So that's all it is. It's like we're not surrendering in the wrong spots. We're surrendering where we need to be submissive, because there are points that we did overstep our bounds as a country, and that we need to actually understand our role, and that we did wrong. Smack the dog on the snout, say bad dog, and then it's like, but you still did win the war. But I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean,
it's time for world peace. It's time for all to surrender and stop fighting. And again, I just think we resonate better when we're calm. We whether it's a resonate or whether it's a vibration or a frequency, it's all happening when we calm down, right? We're rising. And then when you get into that state of synchronicity where every wavelength, every part of the brain is calm, not just this side or not just that side or not, that's finding that 0 point. That's why when he's tracking Joe Dispenza on Rewired, I'm pretty sure it's episode 11, because I was like, dude, this, he's showing where the brain activity usually is by 100% of the people. But when someone goes into the 5D, he can see them and they're way the heck over here. Like their activity has jumped so far out of the norm when they enter into 5D. So this is all trackable. There's science that, just been kept from us. And I'm excited that he's on that new frontier of learning, really, what is the response? Why did they call it Operation Paperclip? Anyone know?
Yeah. I mean,
keep them in a loop. Keep them all, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Operation Stapler was taken? No. It spoke like a 2-second word.
That's a good
Operation
one.
Stapler.
Right?
Thumbtack was one prick short.
That's a good one.
Go either way. I mean, shit.
Oh.
It's so just. I mean, and the thing is, that's why they have us behind. If you're looking at it, and it's like, by us being calm, and just learning, like being behind a computer and just learning, and you see what's going on outside. They're throwing bricks at people and everything like this. That's the other side. We're just sitting here just being calm and just like getting the knowledge and everything like that. Yeah, we're getting pissed off, built up, but it's like we're still just building up knowledge to where it could just go and just explode.
Sure.
Begin for the
Uh-oh.
very beginning.
Kid found something. Sail on wipes.
Hey.
Yes. Hey.
Yeah.
Yes. Time to clean that up. Ah, yes. Miyagi-san. We get clean.
Oh my god.
You guys are so funny. I love that, we can laugh about all this because, you guys are just being so real. The expansion is real. Coming into each realm, you almost have to acclimate into new knowing.
Yes.
And just almost settle in it a bit because it's a bit overwhelming. I mean, I know that when we learned just about the master trust, I mean, we really had to acclimate for a while. When we learned that we were invaded in 1871, it's like, whoa. I mean, so let me get this. I got to go back in time and figure all this. So I don't know, no matter what you're learning, no matter where we're going, what I like about Gaia is it's getting kind of relaxing and soothing to watch some of these series, to watch some of this work come out, because it just feels more like, I don't know, that like the television is finally taking, it's part of the disclosure, it's the shiny light version of new information. We've graduated from all the, the YouTubes and all the stuff, and, so, I mean, as Fox News continues to disclose, and then they're finding out, there's, new discoveries about how the cells can move in the body through quantum, and they can jump, all over the place, and they can communicate to each cell to get the messages to the brain. I mean, it's like, is this new or was this withheld? And that just means we're winning. I guess I'm just saying, the mixing of the waters has begun.
That's it. Now they're starting to have to release their secrets. I mean,
well, they've already begun to release their secrets with us.
Yeah.
So this is how this came aboard. And the manager or the creator, he can't explain that. He can't say that he got this from a higher dimensional being, the Saya. So,
yeah, he's FDA has a lot to do with what he can talk about.
And we know about those three-letter agencies, FDA, CIA, FBI. We can't just say what we want.
But we had Lewis on the show, and he was talking about this, the Asaya, because he had done a lot of research, not only on the product, but the company. And he was saying a lot about what you were just talking about, cell communication, and how this activates cell communication.
Yep.
And there's like, I don't know, mitochondria, is that what it's called?
Mitochondria.
Yeah, and so is that the little hairs all everywhere inside our body? Is that what that is?
It's like...
Yeah, the axons, the dendrites. The dendrites are the little, of your nerve endings. You have your axons, your dendrites. And then your, if you're talking about cilia, are you talking about the little hairs? Because, I mean, you have like...
So it's different. All right.
There's different...
So I sure wish I could sound intelligent like Lewis does when he's talking about it, but
I know,
I'm just
right?
We just know that it goes straight into
I just see some marbles in my mouth and my bed.
Nathaniel.
Like I'm good.
So the mitochondria is in the cell. Here's the description. It says mitochondria are tiny, double membrane-bound organelles, organelles found in almost every cell in all organisms except bacteria. It's the powerhouse of the cell. So they're primarily responsible for converting the air we breathe and the food we eat into energy that our cells can then use to grow, divide, and function.
So what this does is it activates the
Mitochondria.
Nathan draw. The mitochondria, right?
We got your back, Candy. It's good. No worries.
It's
We're all
not
family.
connecting.
We're all family here. It's
The
okay.
neurotransmitters, they're just firing left and right.
Mitochondria.
Mine are like this. They're missing.
Mine looks like Rocky Dennis.
So yeah, and so Kid and I have noticed that. I mean, oh shit. I just backed myself up into a corner because here I am. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't sound like it's doing anything for me, but really it is.
It's just working on different parts of your body.
Right, there you go.
Just not up here yet. Like, it's working on my fat, but I want it to work on my damn hair.
You come back with that mohawk.
I'd rather have a full head of hair than lose all my fat at the moment.
I don't even know what
You
you
need to
look
go-
like. Full head of hair.
I need to go
I
through
need
a
a
new
wig.
Stargate for that one and come back. Send yourself through a different portal and come back with some different knowledge for that one. Maybe go go straight up.
Right?
What you do? We should get like those magnet things like we had with kids. Did the bald guy and it had like little things you could like take the pen, you make like little hair. We should do that to everybody and see what they could do with you.
Oh,
What kind of
God.
hair they could put on you. Little suave look.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah,
The
that would be cool.
Etch-a-Sketch, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Etch-a-Sketch?
It's similar to that, but it's like it comes in like a little container. And
Oh,
like,
it's
you take the
chia
pen and
seed
it-
pet?
No, and it takes the little magnet pieces. You know, it's like
Oh.
it's like a little plastic thing.
Yeah.
No, not like the chia head. The chia head would be good for him too. That'd be awesome for him.
Chia. Was that it? I don't know if that was the right.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Kid was just like, it was fully grown guys.
The Chia Pet? It's called the Chia Pet,
Yeah,
right?
chia pet.
Oh, and they also had a little guy look like a gnome, didn't they?
Easy.
Oh, God.
So my
I'm like, dude, come, like, damn it, man.
They're the most intelligent. I don't know.
I don't know. Still midgets.
Everybody will have fun
Yeah.
with my bald head.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, I give you that like. That's why I don't care.
Crown.
Keep this empty. Just put some hair right here. You're good.
This is up top party backstage, you know.
Top party guys.
The good old Kentucky waterfall.
And then put a toupee so every time that the wind blows, it goes.
Oh, that one day.
Oh.
Fucking fair hunting season. It's like, phew, boom. Katie's sitting there. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So my girlfriend and I, we joke about this kind of stuff too, and she says, so what about this? This is the Renew 28. She goes, what if we use this instead of KY jelly on our men? Maybe.
Oh, there goes Jason.
Jesus
Both
Christ.
men left the building.
Maybe we'll get more girth or something.
Walking with like a big, the big tube. It's like, what'd you say? If you need some more sea bottles, guys.
You guys crack me up. Well, I hate to say it, but I'm getting the call that dinner's ready.
Okay.
So I don't know. Do you guys? How long do you guys usually go?
Oh, yeah, we're good for 2 hours. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it the whole 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not all. Well, we got 3 more minutes. I don't want to.
Well, Jay, are you going to stay on and share a little bit, or do you want to call it for a night?
I'm going to call it for a night. I'm going to rest my back and all that. And then I'm going with Nino tomorrow. And then got to start packing.
Okay. I talked to, or I texted Lewis about doing Wacky Wednesdays while you're on the trip. And he wants me to talk to you about that. So if I think Kid was saying that you could even call in from your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes with with traveling and all that. I mean, it's just we'll be where we'll be and everything like that. So
Exactly. Okay, so we'll just keep in touch.
yeah,
And whether you can or can't, Either way is great, as long as we
Oh,
know
well.
so we can make a plan.
Well,
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
with this Rodecaster Pro, you can actually call my cell phone and I can link you in through Bluetooth, so we'll be able to hear you verbally, so it'll be a nice call that way instead of
I could
having
actually
like
do
Zoom and
too. I
breaking
mean,
up.
I could go with Zoom too, you know? On the
Okay.
phone, you
Either
know?
way.
On Wi-Fi and all that, you know, so we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then maybe Miki can join us again next week.
Oh, we would love for you to join us again.
That means I'm going to do a lot of research between now and then.
I found something new about frequencies.
Wait,
I know we gotta crack the code.
wait.
Oh, this was really beautiful.
This really was.
You brought a lot of healing, Miki. You did.
Oh, good.
Yes, because there was huge revelation as to where we're going and why and how to stand in it.
Yeah.
And then the frequency was huge too, because you brought that to the forefront of everyone's mind. Like Kid was sharing with me, oh, so my frequency went up when I was yelling at you, and I said that's why I felt uncomfortable, because it was like screech, 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 and it. So if he brings it back to 0 point, then the peace comes, and I hadn't looked at it like that.
Yeah, me either. We have to
Yeah, and
find
when we're awakening, coming into new knowledge, this is kind of my son woke up pretty quick in school because he didn't really want to wear the masks. And he came up to me one day, he's like, Mom, I realized why some teachers get it and some teachers don't, because of hypnosis. And so he started really researching hypnosis and how you come out of hypnosis. You got to do it in steps. He's like, because when you're in a deep state, if you come out too fast, it's too shocking to the system. It's just too shocking. So in each state that you come out, you have to go through those frequencies. You start with anger and frustration and fear. That's what's resisting you from even being willing to take on the new frequency or the new information. Then you have to go down to the state of depression because, oh, wow, this isn't, I'm not as safe as I thought I was. Or, oh, wow, this, torture is going on, or this stealing is going on, right? And then you have to kind of come back up into this matter of acceptance. And when you're, I don't know, see, that's another thing. The charts are confusing me, guys. I think we're hacked. Because we're just so, accustomed to thinking low is bad, but maybe it's high. Yeah, so let me switch that. Let me flip it for you. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. Think mirror. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be it too.
Yeah, it's a flip. They want us in this chaos state.
Ooh,
That's why they change the music frequencies, because it's almost like having an orchestra where one instrument's off and you don't know why it's causing you.
You were just describing the steps of the 5 stages of grief.
Yes, exactly. It's
That's
the
how
stages
you
of grief. You come through each of those stages as you come into new knowing.
So each one, you have to come through a stage of grief, the 5 stages of grief, just to get out of one little loop of a mind.
So it's what we were talking about, where you experience something, you graduate, you experience, you graduate, you experience, you graduate.
And the higher you graduate, the lower the frequency you need to be.
Exactly. So let's do that again, right? So it would be like this. You come into frustration, and then you have to almost have to go into a state of depression and grieving. Like, because your reality is changing, and and then it comes back into finally acceptance. You may even go through a frequency of trying to change everyone, like alert the people. Oh my gosh, we're not safe anymore.
I gotta tell everybody.
Yeah.
Especially
That's one of the
Nathan.
most annoying stages. Don't take
sky
this
is falling,
thing. Don't
guys.
take it. Don't take it. And then it comes back down into acceptance, and now you're at the same level as you were before you started, and then you eventually reach into this manifestation state where you're ready to take on the next the next bit of information to enter the next realm.
So they hidden those steps into the steps of the 5 steps of getting out of grief. But you got to go through all those emotions every time you take on a new knowing. That's why you got to step them out of hypnosis. We've actually been in hypnosis that keeps us in a super high vibe. I love you. Super high vibe state.
Hell yeah.
Keeps us in tension constantly. And that's why it's like, oh gosh, how do you flip intention to intend? Instead of my intention is to, it is I intend to, because I'm going to tend to those that I have agreed with, that I'm walking in agreement, that maybe I'm causing harm to. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot to learn. I've said that like 5 times.
Well, you can also use the word awareness as well, and acknowledgement. I like to use the AAA movement, awareness or acknowledgement, and then you come down to the the acceptance, and then the allowance. Those are the 3 steps of intention.
Intend.
But then you but then eventually you go, okay, I've accepted it, but I don't like it, so I'm going to manifest something different. So you do get into that manifestation. That's why you want to go to the next tier and the next tier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you accept, you're like, well, I accept that I'm not safe anymore, but I don't want it this way now. Then you want change. So you manifest. But you triggered me on something really good there, and I just lost it, so it wasn't important.
Well, if it comes back, let us know. And Jay, honey, did you have something that you wanted to share with that? Because several times it looked like something was
brewing
in that mind.
No, it was just what the fuck was it? It was yeah, I forgot to.
Well, I'll say one last word about manifest. This is a beautiful word because you're in a state of mana and you're at a fest. So think like Oktoberfest. Manifest is way better. And you're in a state of man or mankind. And so when you're manifesting that destiny. You're creating a manifest. The treasury in the heavens, the treasury in heaven. You're building it up by giving forward. And so to enter into a state of manifestation and enter into a state of consciousness, or to have a conscience about how we're entering into a new state of awareness. And we're so focused on the states right now, on the republics, and how are we going to restore the republics? Well, guys, wait till you find out the history of the land and the indigenous and the biblical stories, blah blah blah. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So we're just we should open our minds right now to realizing we've never had world peace. We've never been here. We get to enter into a state of creation and visualization and activation. And, I kind of did that switch over where I didn't want to be a part of the disclosure anymore because I wanted to be part of the new earth, the new kingdom of heaven on earth. I want to be the visionary. I don't want to keep trying to destroy and break down the old. I want to go restore the new and be a part of that, that just everything's possible. Mm-hmm. I want to see people getting living water throughout the world. I want to see how the water is actually supposed to flow. I want to see them, clean food and clean shelter and, heart of the home, a hearth, where everyone has shelter in the world. So there's just a lot of neat stuff to come. And imagine the architecture that's been kept from us. I mean, it's amazing.
You know what? That's what I was going to mention. When you mentioned all those words, right? And you were talking about like recreation, like recreation. You look at recreation and recreation, it's the same damn word. It's just where you put the stress, and it's like, it totally changes it.
Yeah.
Right.
And they talk about recreation time. It's like, we go out there and play. It's like, but you're playing a game it's nothing new. You're not creating anything. You're just falling in line. You're playing, Red Rover, fucking whatever game. Would say Simon Says, but, that was all taken from Saint Simon, which is the patron saint of torture and kidnapping.
Simon Says, that's where that comes from. Yeah, a vessel versus a temple, right? Your body is your temple. It shouldn't be a vessel. It should be your temple and the temporal lobes. I mean, it's flipping it all. I was noticing the other day, terminal. We know of terminal as being terminal ill or a pathway. Well, they call them terminals at the airport. Yeah. Because why? Because we're terminally ill and they're blocking off our pathways, or because it's a terminal to a new,
one track.
And there's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
talking about games really fast and switching it over to also the word manifest and the word mana in games, mana means MP, which also means magic power. So you are bringing the magic power festival into your life.
Also, if you look up the meaning of mana, it says the power of the elemental forces of nature embodied in an object or person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you guys are working on, your cells.
Yeah.
Your mitochondria.
The manifestation.
Woo, mana. You're practicing mana. It sounds like MAGA, you know?
Like the
And
God
then
power
fast.
spark.
There is actually a goddess named Mana.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And every time that we say the manifestation, it calls upon her to bring that energy flow into our atmosphere.
Interesting. And it's interesting that Mammon, the spirit of Mammon, you know, is also a spirit that's drawn in.
Right.
But fest, a gathering, event, or show having a specified focus. So again, it comes back to what are you focusing on? What are you manifesting? So yeah, I think there's a lot. I think that we're gonna see just a lot of people calm down a lot more than we might think. You know, now that we know we won.
Yeah.
You know, the people that maybe wasn't watching all the coincidences the whole time. And, you know, it's like now that we know we won, I actually think we need to give a lot of faith in humanity. Because if there's one thing I noticed about this operation, this human experiment, is people are very focused on being virtuous. I mean, they'll do anything for the greater good. They'll do anything for the people. They'll wear the mask. I mean, 3/4 of society is happy to be virtuous. Well, I should say 2/3. You know, so it's like, I think that when the news starts telling the truth and they start to slowly red pill, we're going to see people come way down and realize, wait, no, we can enter into a state of peace. And then if you build a new mountain of influence, everyone will come, you know?
That's true.
So, yeah, but it's a transition period. I mean, I've heard people say that after Moses freed the Israelites, the sea closed back up. They couldn't go back if they tried. You know, it took them supposedly 40 years to adjust and to get used to the new realm, you know. So hopefully people are coming out of that state, that deep state, and coming into the new. I went down, Jason. I went down.
And that's because you think about it, like if you're like high strung or you calm down, which is better, you know?
For some reason,
So,
it just hurt for.
It's weird, you know?
It's like
But
something.
it makes sense. Makes sense that, you know,
I hate that.
it's just like just calming down and, you know, coming down to that level. And but yeah, with the whole grief, and I mean, that just fucking blew my mind.
Which part?
The whole wave, you know, with the grief, it just goes like this.
Oh, the
like,
5 stages of grief
Yeah.
type thing, right?
I really don't want to be wrong about this theory, so I need as many people to research this stuff as possible. I just want you guys to know.
And that's all. I mean, we're just here just planting seeds. That's all. I mean,
So then the next question is it good that the Schumann resonance is going up, or is it bad? You know, that's the next question. Is that bad? Is it going to come way down? Are we used to seeing it? Yeah.
I mean, coming down. I mean, Earth it's got to meet at that point, and once that happens, I mean, it's going to be like, you know, thermite. You know, you got powdered aluminum, powdered rust. You come together, boom, brings anything down.
So, Miki, people are asking, is there anywhere that they can go to review those slides again?
I don't know.
They can just watch them on here.
Can you?
Yeah, they can pause and play.
Yeah, they're on here.
Go to the part where I actually show the slides and
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah.
on the screen, like as in where I wasn't thinking I was showing you Solarium. We were
Just
locked
skip
on
that
the
part a
slide
little
for
bit
long
and you'll
time.
find it.
But yeah, I don't really have I could eventually build up our Great Awakening, but now I'm also questioning that word, awake. You don't want to go to awake or a funeral.
Right.
You want to rise. You don't want to mourn in the morning. You want a grand rising, but then do you want to rise? Because that would raise your frequency. Do we want to lower our frequency? It's just very confusing. We're in a transition.
Definitely.
Oh, no, Facebook. Can't do Facebook.
So one last question. This is for Jason.
Yep.
Someone asked, is there anything we need to know about the Queen's funeral on Monday?
Well,
Ding dong, the Queen is dead.
is that on Monday? Or is that on
That's-
Saturday?
I don't know that they said Monday, but I don't know. I haven't seen
For
anything.
them, it's probably a Sunday if they're in the UK. So for us, it would be the Saturday because they are 8 hours ahead, right?
Oh, I
Or-
don't know.
I don't know.
Different time zones in UK.
Yeah, and there's also a video that I want to share at the end, and that's the video that I created, but I cannot share it on Facebook
And YouTube.
or YouTube. So I'll be shutting Facebook and YouTube down before I share that video. So I am going to post a link to our Twitter, which is going to also be there, so you guys can go ahead and go there and watch at the end of this live, because I want everybody to see the transitioning that we are doing and how Trump has never given up on us.
And this is the same video that got us banned on our main channel.
Yeah, which I thought it was going to be good, and even Jason here said it was great. It's nothing but truth. There's no lies about it, and yet they consider it a hate video.
So is there anything else that either of you would like to add before we go have some fun with a video?
I just want everyone to take a deep breath and decompress, like as far as like a lot of people I think are ready to learn about common law. And one thing there's some grand juries that are about to start running, and I just, as soon as someone gets remedy, I really just hope that we don't turn on each other. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that people don't start, I think people are going to start practicing forgiveness when they realize, some of this information coming out about, the safety of everything and, employers and stuff like that. You can't go after every employer in the world. I just hope people start to practice forgiveness and come down a bit and know we won. Really, this is a time to celebrate. A lot of the lightworker friends that I have been texting me about the stories they'll tell about us and how we help people through this moment and this time. And you know what I mean? Like it's all the people that came here to bear witness to the glory, and got to see every part of it. I mean, it was kind of crazy. I'm looking back on slides that we did like a year and a half ago, Jason, and I'm like, man, the amount of work you put into this and research and time and effort. You guys are still doing Wacky Wednesdays. How long have you been doing it? I mean, it's time to come into, forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun though. I mean, wait, A1.
It is.
It was fun. It's been a fun ride. I've had joy. I mean, this has been the coolest multi-dimensional puzzle I've ever put together.
Right? Wait until the very end of when we get to rewatch everything in one go. And it's...
Fuck, I'll pass.
Right?
We already know the ending.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm not gonna watch any more of this shit. Like, we gotta rewatch this, like, oh man, we're just an FT dying? Pass the milk duds.
I
I'm
love
already
those
done with the
things.
two, Jason. I'm ready to move on. Like I thought about going back and doing a final story of the stars, or how Trump pretty much got every country to capitulate in the story, just a quick fast version so everyone could get this. But I'm like, oh, it's gonna take so much more work. I've already told the story so many times. Do I want to move forward or do I want to look back? But that's the cool thing about this whole time. We have to choose which part of the movie to watch.
That's true. Oh, yeah, we're
Well-
also on Telegram, too, huh?
Okay.
Oh,
About
yeah.
ready?
So now I was just looking into that whole September 19th deal. There's one thing I found right off the bat, and that's the Council of Europe was founded by when Winston Churchill gave a speech there in 1946, and from 46 to 2022, it's an 81-year breach. And that's 9 nines. And also the EU was created. The EU, the original EU flag, the stars, was created for the Council of Europe in 1955. So there's something big right there. Because because you always have, whenever you see something, whenever they give you a date on anything, go back and start checking everything in history. Check the Wikipedia, check this day in history and all that, and look at everything that could correlate with what we're looking into, and you'll see so many different correlations because everything's cyclical. Everything always goes in circles. I mean, if we notice that the whole change in the names, it's the same story, same thing here. We're just seeing it a microcosm, not a macrocosm, as like in the religions and everything like that. We're just seeing it through, the 2,000 years of us. So
That's
just
true.
Yeah, that will be interesting to expand the years and see the cyclical.
oh, it's wild.
There's a guy named Jason who's got that simulation theory. I always forget his
Yes,
name.
Brashears.
For shears.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother piece of work.
Oh man, Woo, his shit.
I mean, not piece of work, him.
Oh yeah,
Body of work.
his body work. Yeah, I mean it's no. When you said piece of work, I'm like, oh, I know what you meant. It's just like
Yeah.
When you think, oh man, his stuff's so good though. It's just like man, and we don't know. It's like because we could all be wrong,
And he's got, I mean, he's got a lot of reading done. He's got a
Yeah.
big library too of resources where he can be like, oh yeah, I read that here.
He even wrote books and everything. He accomplished. So
Interesting.
Cool,
Wow.
you guys. Well, like I said, my dinner's waiting, so I'm gonna run.
right, awesome. Thank you so much, Mickey.
Yes, Miki, it was an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. And do you have a minute to be able to watch that video?
Yeah.
I am going to stop the live on Facebook. I want to thank you guys, everyone, for being here. It was an honor to be able to have you. Remember, always keep it up, because remember, it's the smallest things that matter. You are the ones that are creating the smallest ripples, and it's those ripples that are going to create those biggest waves, because the waves have already been made. We can't make any more. So we have to start with the ripples, and the more ripples that we make, the bigger the wave it gets. And the more of us that get together, well, it's the smallest things that matter, and it's us that's going to be creating the future, and we've already created it. So keep on moving forward. We love you, and we will see you guys very soon. So there goes Facebook. Thank you. And I am now shutting down